A country music icon's top plot to the top.
I happen to think you're maybe the best country singer in the world.
The tragic true story of Patsy Cline's Sweet Dreams, tonight at midnight.
It's minus 5 degrees at 7 o'clock. You're looking at downtown Halifax. That's Gottingen Street.
Do-do-do-do-do. Don't you know that song?
Do I know that song?
Uh-huh.
I know that song.
Why aren't you singing it?
Well, I don't know the words.
Good morning.
Know the song.
It's a terrific Tuesday. We got some fairly mild temperatures in store and sunshine in the forecast.
Hooray, hooray for sunshine, yes.
You are watching Breakfast Television on ASN for Tuesday, December the 15th.
The 15th already.
Morning, I'm Jill Croft.
Well, you're all wound up after a day off. Here you are, you're happening.
I'm back.
I'm Kurt Stoodley, everybody. Coming up this morning, we're going to decorate our Christmas tree that arrived yesterday.
And it's a gorgeous one. It's just right over there. Also, in our 12 days of cooking, Christmas cooking, Tom McGinnis and Deb Ames, who work here, will be making McInnes trifle.
McInnes trifle. I saw the finished product earlier. Did you see it?
No, I haven't. Not as spicy, I don't imagine, as chicken curry.
No, not. And award-winning country musician Ruby Daly is here. We were listening to her just a few minutes ago. She's incredible. And, of course, our own Scott Boyd is wandering around this morning, causing trouble, as usual.
As usual.
This time he's at Buckley's Music.
What do you mean by that? Out causing trouble, as usual. You know, Kurt, you get turned on by power tools. I'm in my favorite place. I'm in a music store, Buckley's Music Store here in Halifax. We've got some musicians. I'm not going to say they got up and early in the morning because... these guys probably never went to bed yet, knowing this crew. That looks like Kurt Hahn down the back, but he can't be. He's usually comatose this time of day from Kurt's keyboards. Morning, sir.
Morning, Scott.
I hear we have a special version of Jill's Country. We're going to... Just a second now, let's make this equal. There we go, perfect.
Much better.
Yeah.
I always like to look up to somebody.
Well, thank you. It's not very often I get a chance to look down at somebody. We're going to have some fun here. We've got the staff of music of the boys at Buckley's here. Oh, and Kurt.
Kurt's keyboards, yeah.
Kurt's keyboards, and we're going to have some fun with the boys here this morning. That's Jeff in the suit. He looks good enough to bury, don't he?
Jeff Jardine, Prime Minister of Canada.
Right, that's him. We're going to have some fun with the boys. Here at Buckley's, we have an interesting drum kit to show you that was custom made for Jeff and somebody my height and sounds that you're not going to believe. And are you okay?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
This is your screen test. Smile. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Aren't they just the most beautiful people in the world down here at Buckley's? Kurt and Jill, going to have some fun. I promise.
Looks like it, and I saw one of your guests who was in our lobby just a few minutes ago who's headed on down to Buckley's
an aspiring musician.
So we'll get to all that rather in a few minutes. First, though, it's time to get to the news of the morning, see what's going on in the world around us. Also, take a check of this forecast on December 15th. Lots of people still out busy doing their Christmas shopping, so it's nice that we've got some milder temperatures.
Looks like it's going to stay that way throughout the middle of the week at least.
Great.
Gotta like that. A great day for the middle of December. Temperatures above the freezing mark. And some sunshine on the way. Here's your Tuesday morning forecast. For New Brunswick, some fog in coastal areas this morning. Clouds will give way to sunny periods this afternoon. Highs near +2 degrees. Some fog for Nova Scotia this morning, but sunny periods should arrive by noon and highs today near +3. It'll be cloudy with fog on Prince Edward Island this morning. Sunny breaks in the afternoon and highs of +1. Mainly cloudy in Newfoundland today. There's a chance of flurries this afternoon, highs at about 0. And mostly sunny with afternoon temperatures ranging from -12 to -8 degrees in Labrador. In the news this morning, about 90 Canadian soldiers are due to arrive in Somalia today. In all, about 1,300 Canadians will be involved in the effort to feed the hungry by early next year. Meanwhile, the White House says U.S. troops will not risk confrontations by trying to disarm the African nation. And spokesman Marlon Fitzwater says the U.S. is stressing negotiation to assure the distribution of food. He also rejected charges by 8 officials that the military effort begun last week is moving too slowly. Fitzwater says the military operation is on target and that the work is being done as fast as possible. Canadian Airlines is cutting the number of flights in and out of this region. The airline says 2 daily flights to Toronto will be canceled. It's also cutting 2 of its 7 flights from Toronto to Halifax. Canadian will also change the size of the aircraft used on the flight from Halifax to Ottawa from an A320 Airbus to a Boeing 737. However, Canadian says the one daily jet service between Halifax and St. John's will not be affected. Consumer and business borrowers are in for another small break on interest rates. The major banks have lowered their prime rates to 8.5% from 8.75% as of today. The cuts are seen as a prelude to a drop in the Bank of Canada rate today from the current 7.76%. Scotiabank economist Warren Jetson says the central bank is resisting a big rate cut in case it damages the dollar. The dollar held steady yesterday, closing at 78.44 cents U.S. That's down from 78.49. A meeting will be held tomorrow to discuss contentious plans to flood the Westray mine. The families of 26 men who died in the May 9th explosion will meet with officials from the company and the Labor Department. Cura claims flooding is the first step toward driving new tunnels, resuming coal production, and tapping into the existing workings to search for bodies. The families, backed by a number of Westray dragomen, have secured a court injunction halting flooding of the southwest section until at least the 22nd of the month. They want the Nova Scotia government to send dragomen into the mine to ensure no evidence of what caused the killer blast was overlooked during an earlier RCMP search. Good times have started to roll down the line at the Trenton railcar plant. Hundreds of workers are being called back to work over the next month and a half, and the future is looking bright. The car works has been struggling for the last few years as its parent company Lavalin went out of business, and the future in Trenton looked bleak. Well, now, thanks to strict financial management and a $30 million railcar order from CN, the plant has turned around. The plant currently employs just over 100 workers, but as work on the CN order progresses, that number will grow to almost 400, including some new jobs. The NDP in New Brunswick has won a battle in the courts and now has access to documents concerning the fate of St. Joseph's Hospital in St. John. A New Brunswick judge has slapped the McKenna government's wrist over a request for information by NDP leader Elizabeth Weir. Last month, Weir went to court to get the Department of Health to turn over all documents regarding the fate of St. Joseph's, but a Court of Queen's Bench ruling says Health Minister Russ King failed to comply with the Right to Information Act because he didn't surrender all of the paperwork. Weir says the decision is a very important one.
We can certainly argue that, but what I said...
The judge in this decision has acknowledged that a citizen's right to information from government, even the McKenna government, is a fundamental right. And this decision recognizes why the Right to Information Act is important, because it makes government accountable.
The court has given the government 7 days to fall back on a provision of the Right to Information Act that protects cabinet documents. There's been no word from the Health Department regarding its next move. And the Nova Scotia government will introduce a graduated licensing system this spring that limits where and when new drivers can operate vehicles. Transport Minister George Archibald says the legislation also means new drivers will have to pass tougher written exams and wait at least 2 years before being fully licensed. During those 2 years, new drivers will be subject to limits, including nighttime curfews, zero blood alcohol tolerance, and possibly restricted access to some highways. A preliminary report is to be completed next week, and a final draft of the legislation given to Archibald by the 10th of January. That's a look at news coming up on 8 minutes after 7 o'clock, -5 outside our studios in Halifax under cloudy skies. Jill.
Kurt, you didn't tell me that on my day off we laid some new carpet here on the BT set.
I didn't know. It happened
Overnight?
yesterday afternoon, yeah.
How unusual. We carpeted a wall.
Yeah. Why did we do that?
Must be for the sound.
Is that what it's for?
Anyways, looks a little different. It's a nice touch.
It's lovely.
Our Scott Boyd is over at Buckley's Music this morning, hanging out with the guys, having a grand old time. And Scott, are you going to be making any noise on any of those instruments?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. I have been assured that they have a custom drum kit here for me. Jeff, you have a custom drum kit here for me?
Certainly do, right here. Did you try it
You've
yet?
got to be kidding.
No, that's it.
You're going to put me on that?
Yes, you're going to try it out right now.
I'm going to try it out right now. Okay. Come on over here, Alexander. This is Alexander Kronstein with me, and I'm going to try this drum kit out. I'm going to get somebody to hold the drum kit here, this in front. Okay? Now let's just try this and see what it sounds. How's that?
Good.
You sure? Can you make it sound better than that?
Yeah.
You can? Okay, let's hear him make it sound better than that. Kurt, we'll get Alexander in there. Go ahead, buddy. Have a seat. Now let's hear him make it sound a little bit better than that. Go ahead, buddy. No, drummers are so fussy. Go ahead, hit her up and let's hear it. Go ahead. Hit her hard. Hit those drums hard. Jeff, how come they sounded that much better?
Well, he's got more depth in his playing.
Can you go back there? More depth in my playing. Okay. Why don't you go back there and try? We're going to show you with this. We're going to let Jeff back there for 1 second, Alexander. We'll let this gentleman behind you try them out there for 1 second. And just listen to when a pro plays this little drum kit. This is not a trick.
Maybe I can't get it on.
Here we go. Yeah, you're right. There's a trick to it. There's a trick to it. We'll let you in. Oh. Yeah, had to do it. Yeah. There's a trick to it. We'll let you in it in just a minute. Jill, I think even you could play this kit.
My vote goes to Alexander, Scott.
Pardon me?
My vote goes with Alexander. We thought he was the best.
Yeah,
You thought he was the best.
definitely.
Yes. You let him know that, Kay.
You thought Alexander was the best.
Definitely.
Well, I'll show you what we're going to do for that. Alexander, the show's yours.
No thanks.
No thanks. No thanks. Hey, he knows.
He comes by it honestly. Both his parents are in the business. So.
Look at this. Look, he's out of bed.
Oh, look at that. Wrong with human hair.
It's Yvonne Colbert.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Look, our tree's bare naked.
Yes, it's a bare naked
It's a beautiful tree, but it's a bare naked one.
What happened to the top here? I think that's where Scott was dragging it out of the woods.
That could have been it. Or maybe those little kids he had helping him. Listen, as our show continues this morning, we're going to be decorating this gorgeous tree. Also, we're going to be tasting some trifle.
Tasting trifle. Sounds fun to me.
All that and more when BT comes back.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop.